It has been a full year since I told my husband, at a neighborhood block party, no less, that he was only the father of my children, not my soulmate. It sounds like the setup for a cruel joke, but the real punchline is on me. Ashley, Justin's fiancée, is the exact type of woman I used to mock. You know the kind. Obsessed with CrossFit, dedicated to meal prepping, genuinely passionate about farmers markets. And to make matters worse, she's kind. Unfailingly kind. Strangely, that makes everything so much harder to swallow. Because, of course, the kids adore her. Just last week, Emma came home practically glowing, eager to tell me that Ashley had taught her how to braid her hair the cool way, as if it were some groundbreaking skill I had never bothered to learn. That stung more than I care to admit. But if you enjoy stories of real-life drama, poor decisions, and the kind of emotional wreckage you just can't look away from, you're in the right place. Sometimes, you don't truly understand the value of something until it's gone. The slow unraveling. Despite our flaws, Justin and I had a rhythm. We lived life by a checklist: marriage, a home, kids, believing that would be enough. And for a while, it was. But eventually, I grew restless. Not unhappy, just bored. And bored people start picking apart things that were never broken. After years of shared bank accounts, morning drop-offs, and family routines, I found myself scrutinizing everything. His laugh was too loud. His jokes were too corny. His shirts were always just slightly wrinkled. I convinced myself that he wasn't the one, whatever that even means. The block party was like any other. Neighbors chatting, kids running around, music playing in the background. I don't even remember what led up to it, but suddenly, the words were out of my mouth, loud enough for Justin and probably half the block to hear. He's just the father of my kids, not my soulmate. The moment stretched, the words hanging in the air like smoke from a cheap grill. Justin didn't lash out. He didn't argue. He just looked at me. Not with anger, not even with sadness, just emptiness. Then, without a word, he turned back to the grill and flipped a burger, as if I hadn't just set fire to our marriage in a single sentence. I thought we'd laugh about it later. We had fought over worse, but we didn't. That night, he slept on the couch. The next night, too, a week later, he moved out. At first, I was defiant. Good riddance, I told myself. I convinced myself this was my chance to rediscover who I was outside of being someone's wife. But as the days passed, the house grew quieter. No more dad jokes at dinner. No more clinking of his coffee mug in the morning. Just me, the kids, and the echo of my own arrogance. The other woman. When Justin started seeing Ashley, I dismissed it as a rebound. But she didn't disappear. She stayed. And worse, Justin and the kids seemed lighter around her, as if she had lifted a weight from them that I hadn't even realized I'd placed there. I remember the first time I saw them together at the kids' soccer game. She was sitting beside him, laughing at something he said, and it was the laugh that got me. It wasn't polite. It wasn't forced. It was real. The kind of laugh I hadn't given him in years. I told myself I was meant for something bigger, that I deserved a love story grander than what Justin and I had. But Justin had known something all along, something I had been too blind to see. I already had it, and I threw it away, facing the truth. The kids started slipping Ashley's name into conversations effortlessly. Ashley makes the best pancakes. Ashley helped me with my science project. Last week, Emma forgot her school folder at Justin's house. I offered to pick it up. When I knocked, Ashley answered the door, greeting me with that same warm, effortless smile. She invited me in. I almost declined. Almost. But curiosity, and maybe a little self-inflicted punishment. One that I forced to smile, my teeth clenched as I nodded, pretending it didn't bother me. But it did. It still does. The family portraits on the walls couldn't capture the warmth that filled their home. The children's artwork on the refrigerator, the little touches of life. It felt like home. The kind of home I used to have. From the kitchen, I saw our son laughing at something on his phone. When he noticed me, he simply nodded, a polite acknowledgement, nothing more. No resentment, no sadness. Just a man who had moved on. As I drove away, I caught myself staring at the folder on the passenger seat, untouched. At every red light, the weight of my mistakes settled heavier on my shoulders. I had pushed his love to the breaking point, convinced he would fight for me. But he didn't. He walked away. And the hardest part, he was right. Now, a year later, I sit in the same house, surrounded by the same walls. But nothing feels the same. The silence is different now. Heavier, filled with the echoes of words I can never take back. If you've made it this far, let me offer a lesson I learned too late. Don't mistake comfort for complacency. We share real-life lessons like this every day, because sometimes hearing someone else's mistakes is the wake-up call we all need. If this story resonated with you, if it made you reflect, subscribe to our channel. Because sometimes people walk away just to see if it's real. And when they do, they may never look back. Thank you for listening.